Hello, and welcome to another Citizen Grim video. Well, the first Citizen Grim video, or maybe the second. I don't know yet. Anyways, as you see behind me, I've got a Argo mole. This is the mining ship that I use in Hadean Interstellar. Since you guys came for the meat and potatoes of a mining loadout, that's what we're going to give you. So the mole has three mining lasers. It's got one in the center and two on each side, or one on each side rather. In this center slot, I have a Helix 2, which has three module slots, a maximum range of 90 meters and an optimal range of about 30 meters. The sweet spot, though,
Oh,
for this build is
yeah.
between 50 and 52 meters, and that is because on each side we have the Hofstede. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but we've got one on each side, and each side has a different loadout in it. And look at that, it's getting f***ing dark. Anyways, like I said, we've got one on each side. They've got two module slots in here. Now, the Hofstede have 180 maximum range with an optimal range of about 60 meters, which, because of where they are, and because of where you're positioned against the rock against this one, 50 to 52 meters, these are actually in a sweet, sweet spot. Now, the Helix has a positive resistance bonus. It reduces the resistance on the rock by about 30%, and reduces the amount of inert materials you ingest into the ship also by about 30%. The trade-off, though, is your optimal charge window, so that green window as you're mining, is reduced by 40% in size. The left and right hand turrets, the Hofstede, they have positive modifiers of optimal charge window of 60%, which means it increases that green spot by about 60%. It increases your optimal charge rate by 20%, which means it cooks the rock faster. It reduces the rock resistance by 30%, and it reduces inert material ingestion by 40%. The negativity, though, the negative modifier of this one is it increases rock instability by about 10%. And since we've got both those, we've got two of those, one on each side. We don't need to go check out the other side, but let's go take a look inside the ship, and I'll show you the modules that we have.
A few moments later.
All right, so the center module here, which we'll fall into, is this is my main turret. So this is the one that I crack all the big rocks with. If there are smaller rocks and I don't want to blow them into orbit, then I will use the side turrets. But if I'm hunting things like Quantanium and stuff like that, this is the turret that I step into. As you can see here on the left-hand side, we've got the Stampede module, which is an active module. And that Stampede module basically will run for 30 seconds and has 6 charges, so you can use it 6 times. It increases the laser power on this thing by 35%. It reduces your extraction rate a little bit, but I mean, if you've already cracked it and you're extracting, big deal. It decreases the instability of the rock by 10%, and it decreases the shatter damage by 10%. The two passive modules I have in here are the Rieger C3s, and they increase your laser power by 25% each. They are stackable, so it basically increases my laser power by 50%. On top of the laser power being increased already 35% if I'm using the Stampede. But it reduces the optimal charge window by 1% each. So that stacked is reduces the optimal charge window, that green window, by 2%, and increases the laser power by 25%, which I can further increase an additional 35% by using the active module. So this one I use to crack the big rocks with, or things that are really challenging that maybe have smaller mass, but have more Quantanium or Tier 1 minerals in it. But if I'm mining something like Boras, which Boras kind of gives you the best dollar per cost average in terms of time, I will not use that because I will literally obliterate a Boras rock unless it's like extremely big. I tend to blow those up, and then you take all kinds of damage and things get really expensive. All the components in this ship, which you can find on HadeanInterstellar.com, the components, including your cooler and your quantum drive and all that stuff, is about 940,000 UEC, whatever, money. That's what it is. 940,000 money of whatever kind. So the Hofstee have two different loadouts, and it really depends on what I need them for if I'm solo mining. But in the right-hand side, I have a Focus module and a Torrent 3 module. Now both of those are passive, as you can see. But what that does is whatever rock I'm working on, it increases the optimal charge window by 40%, and it increases the optimal charge rate by 45%. And optimal charge rate is once you hit the green spot, it's how quickly you cook and crack the rock. And the optimal charge window is reduced by 1%, but big deal because we've already increased it by 40%. So that's the right-hand side. Now we're going to run over to the left-hand side and we'll do that magic YouTube transition stuff so that you don't have to see me run through the ship. Be back in a second. And here we are. We're in the left-hand side turret. I know it's really dark. I could turn on night vision, but then it makes things extremely difficult to see.
What the hell you say?
So in the left-hand side, we have a Torpid module, and if you look over here, we also have the Torrent 3, which we covered previously. The Torpid module is an active module, and basically what it does is it decreases the overcharge rate by 60%, increases your optimal charge rate by 60%. So again, that's how fast you crack the rock. And the overcharge rate decrease basically means that the overcharge rate decays at 60% faster of a rate. However, the trade-off for that is you get 40% shatter damage, which means if you blow the rock up, it is going to hurt a lot. Chances are you'll blow off modules. You might damage the mining lasers. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that can go on. And then once this is done, basically I load up 96 SCU of cargo, because that's what the mole can handle, 96 SCU of whatever minerals you're mining. If it's Quantanium, I grab that last, because once the Quantanium is brought onto the hold, you've got that 25-minute window to get it back, get it off the ship before it blows up and takes the ship with you. And there you have it, folks. That is the mining loadout that Hadean Interstellar uses. If you're looking for an organization to join, check us out. The link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?